This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Today we are going to be talking about my top 10 gaming themes that I enjoy the most. And it's kind of hard when I put this list together because some kind of could be considered the same, but they're really not, especially by the type of games that I enjoy. So I'll try to explain it the best I can, but without further ado, why don't we get started? And at number 10 are superhero themed games. That would be like Marvel Champions, Legendary, some of the other superhero themed games that are done, Freedom 5 and things like that. I really enjoy those games. I enjoy it because I am a big comic book fan. So it really hits home as far as, being able to play as superheroes. Marvel Crisis is another one, which is a miniature game where, you can move things around the board and play it, play out your comic book dreams. And I really think that superhero themed games really resonate very well with me, and they sit at number 10. At number 9 is historical war gaming, historical war themed games. That would be like Ancients, Command and Color Ancients, Napoleonics, a lot of older games, Sparta, things like that. Those type of games, Civilization, as you kind of historically try to recreate history, change history. We've got tons of them. Musket and Pike, Julius Caesar, which is another one. These historical war games are some of my favorite all time. As a theme, it sits at number 9. At number 8, this could have kind of been mixed in here as well, but I felt there was a difference. And it's kind of modern, using modern warfare, but also to some years in the future, meaning, anywhere from 10 to 20 years. Nothing like, 70 or 80 years later on, because then that would fit into the sci-fi type of mode. But I'm talking games like Armageddon War, where you're battling with modern technology. 1985, which is a great war game, which you're battling not historical battles, but things that could have happened, or if you changed the future a bit, if things went differently, if different nations, if Russia ruled the world and we were a second world power, those type of modern warfare, how would you resolve those certain situations? Games like that, Nuclear War, which is another one, using modern technology and trying to figure all that stuff out. The hypothesis of how you survive a nuclear war. Those come in at number 8. At number 7 is horror games. I love horror games. Absolutely love them. The Zombicides, which are fantastic. Resident Evil, Darkest, which is a great game. Folklore, which is a kind of a horror fantasy type of game, which it kind of walks the edge. But when you got werewolves in there, how can you go wrong? Games like that, they really resonate with me. Final Girl, which is probably one of the greatest games ever made, and is a fantastic game, horror movie type game, which just does so much and it's just so fantastic. At number 6 is sports games, and that's games like, you would count Blood Bowl, but you can't. But Stratomatic baseball, football, a game that I am so looking forward to and I want to talk about very soon, is Top Golf Association. They've come out with a flick game that is just absolutely fantastic. PGA Bowling by some of my good friends, which we've done on the channel here. Demolition Derby, Thunder Alley, those type of sports games. Techno Bowl, which is a football game. Yeah, it's kind of video game-ish, but it is probably one of the best football games you'll ever play, and one of my all-time favorite sport games for sure. Those really resonate with me, and and how can we forget all our wrestling games, right? Rumble Slam, even though that's kind of fantasy, but just all that type of stuff. Sabutio. How did I forget that, right? Probably one of the greatest leagues that I've ever done and had so much fun. Matter of fact, we got to wake up the tiger because Sabutio should be coming back shortly. But at number 6, sport games sit and rule the day, that's for sure. At number 5 are fantasy games. And what I mean by fantasy is that you start out on a big map and you're going across countrysides and kind of... or games like Legends of Andor, Mage Knight, where you're covering a great area. There's different things that happen. Hex Explore, Oathsworn. These games really resonate with me, and just a fantasy aspect of it, I really, really enjoy and love very, 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 very much. At number 4 is pirate games. I love pirate games. We kind of I got one here, Everrain, which I'm looking forward to do. Shiver Me Timbers, which is probably one of the best pirate games that I haven't had a chance to really shine with you guys, but I'm looking forward to it now that we have Justin here. Blackbeard, which is tremendous. And it's inspired by a lot of games. Sid Meier's Pirates, a lot of the games that you play. Merchants there, which is just fantastic. There's just so many fantastic, glorious games that fit into that pirate theme, and there's just something about going around, getting treasure, shooting ships down, plundering, looting, and taking whatever you want. And pirate games just do a fantastic job of this and are fantastic. At number 3 is Sci-Fi Games. Now. This kind of messes with number 2 because it is a sci-fi thing. But when I started thinking sci-fi, I started thinking, you can hit different things, but a lot of it is post-apocalyptic type games. And that doesn't fit into one of the things. There are certain space games, which I gave away number 2, which is space, but we'll talk about that sooner than later. But science fiction, in the fact that when you're talking about a future that is undetermined and things like that, it could be post-apocalyptic, or it could be radiated ants, them type of things, different types of games that hit home with the science fiction theme that is very thick and heavy in it. And those I just absolutely adore and have a great time with. Games like, oh God, I've got a bunch of them here. I don't know why I'm drawing a Core Space, which you could consider a space game, but not really. But it is a science fiction heavy type game. Star Saga, another one that you can consider science fiction. Space Hulk, one of the greatest games of all time. Warhammer 40K, science fiction. You see where I'm going with this. So that's why that sits at number 3. Number 2, which I gave away anyways, which is space games. And that's a lot of space flight games like Full Thrust, Silent Death. You can even go into Twilight Imperium, where there's a lot of space travel and things like that. The Richard Borg space game that he did recently, which I've got to bring in here and start painting up. There's just tons and tons of just fantastic space battle games that I absolutely enjoy. Talon, which is fantastic. Space Empires, another great one. Those really hit home, and anytime there's any kind of space game, well, you can guarantee that I will be bringing it here on Rob's Tabletop World. So what's number one? I think it's pretty much a giveaway, and that is Dungeon Delves. You know, I don't know who doesn't like Dungeon Delves, but I think whenever, it doesn't matter what type of Dungeon Delve it is, if it comes out, I am going to run out and I'm going to purchase it. And, you know, that is, you know, Four Against Darknesses, D100, Escape the Dark Castle, all those type of fantastic games that I absolutely, Hero Quest, Warhammer Quest. Even though Warhammer Quest, you can kind of visit the countryside and everything, but it is a dungeon delve. Iron Helm, Marching Order. All these games really, when they come out, I get so excited about them because there's just something fantastic about dungeon delving. And that is my number one game theme of all time. And it takes up most of my collection, believe it or not, the dungeon delves and things like that. Really right up my alley and will always be top of my list for sure. So there you go, the top 10 gaming themes that I enjoy and that I think are just absolutely fantastic. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this list, and until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon.